The money blueprint nobody taught you but should have. What if I told you that everything you think you know about building wealth is backwards? That the richest people don't actually work harder. They follow a blueprint that nobody ever taught the rest of us. I spent years uncovering these secrets, and now I'm sharing the entire playbook with you. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to manage your money like the top 1%. Starting from wherever you are right now. Let's dive in. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most of us were never taught how money actually works. We learned calculus, we memorized historical dates, but nobody sat us down and said, here's how to build wealth, here's how to stop living paycheck to paycheck, here's how to make your money work for you, instead of the other way around. And that knowledge gap? It's costing you thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands, over your lifetime. But here's the good news. Financial literacy isn't complicated. It's not about loving spreadsheets or being a math genius. It's about understanding a few key principles and having the discipline to follow them. Today, we're covering everything. How to assess where you stand right now, how to set goals that actually matter, how to invest, when to buy versus rent, and the hidden traps that drain wealth from most people without them even realizing it. So if you're ready to take control of your financial future, hit that subscribe button and let's get started. The brutal truth, where you stand right now. Before you can go anywhere, you need to know where you're starting, and yet most people avoid this step because it's uncomfortable. But here's what I need you to understand. You cannot manage what you don't measure. There are 3 numbers that should live rent-free in your head: your annual net income, your annual expenses, and your surplus or deficit. Let me break this down simply. Your net income is what actually hits your bank account after taxes, not your salary, what you actually take home. Add up everything: your paycheck, side hustles, freelance work, dividends, rental income, everything. Next, your yearly expenses, and I mean everything. The obvious stuff like rent and groceries, but also the sneaky expenses, that annual insurance premium, holiday spending, the subscription you forgot to cancel. Now subtract your expenses from your income. This number is everything. If it's negative, you're bleeding money. You're going backwards. If it's positive, that's your surplus. That's your wealth-building fuel. But income alone doesn't tell the full story. You also need to know your net worth. Net worth is simple. Everything you own minus everything you owe. Your savings, investments, and property are your assets. Your mortgage, car loans, and credit card debt are your liabilities. The difference is your net worth. And here's the key insight. Income buys your lifestyle, but net worth buys your freedom. You want that number going up consistently, year after year. Every financial decision you make either builds your assets or builds your liabilities. Understanding this distinction is one of the fastest ways to start building real wealth. Goals that actually matter. Here's where most people get it wrong. They save without purpose. They invest without direction. They just put money aside and hope it works out somehow. But here's what wealthy people do differently. They work backwards from their goals. I want you to pause right now and grab a pen. Write down every goal you have. The house, the early retirement, the kids' education, the business you want to start, the trip around the world, everything. Don't hold back. Next to each goal, write when you want to achieve it. This timeline is critical because it determines your entire strategy. Short-term goals, anything in the next 5 years, need to be in safe, accessible places. You can't afford market volatility when you need that money soon. Medium-term goals, 5 to 15 years out, can handle more risk. Your money has time to ride out the ups and downs. Long-term goals, 15 years or more. This is where your money needs to be working hard in the market. This is where compound growth does the heavy lifting. Here's a powerful truth. Over the last century, anyone who invested in the S&P 500 and held for at least 20 years never lost money, not once. Even in the worst periods, they still came out ahead. That's the power of time, and that's why your timeline matters so much. the 12-month roadmap. Now let's turn those goals into reality with a concrete plan. Think of your goals as destinations. Your 12-month forecast is the road that gets you there. And your monthly check-ins, those are your dashboard, telling you if you're on track or drifting off course. Start by creating a baseline. Project your next 12 months based on what you know from the last 12. Your income, your spending habits, everything. Then split out savings and investments separately. Allocate them first before anything else. This way, they're not an afterthought. They're built into your plan. Now here's where you get strategic. Ask yourself, where can I cut back to save more? Which expenses can I reduce? Focus on the big recurring expenses first. Utilities, phone bills, groceries, these add up massively over a year. Call your providers, compare prices, switch to cheaper alternatives. These small changes compound into thousands over 12 months. I love the 50-30-20 rule as a framework. 50% of your take-home pay for needs, 30% for wants, 20% for your future self. Savings, investments, extra debt payments. It's not a rigid rule, but it's a helpful benchmark. Adjust it to fit your life. The key is tracking it consistently through monthly check-ins. Every month, ask yourself 3 questions for each expense. Do I need this? If yes, can I live with less? Can I get it for cheaper? Where to put your money? Let's talk about banks because most people get this completely wrong. When you put money in a bank, they're not just storing it safely, they're using it. They lend it out to other people at high interest rates and pay you pennies in return. That gap, that's their profit. So shop around. Use comparison sites. Look beyond traditional banks. Online banks and investment platforms often offer much better rates because they have lower overhead costs. In Europe especially, you might find 3 to 4% interest on cash accounts versus the 1% your high street bank offers. That difference is real money. But here's the critical question. When should you stop saving and start investing? Follow this roadmap. Step 1. Save 1 month of living expenses. This is your immediate buffer. Step 2. Pay off any debt with interest rates above 8%. This is mathematically your best investment because you're getting a guaranteed return equal to that interest rate. Step 3. Build and invest simultaneously. Continue building your emergency fund to 3 to 6 months while starting to invest for long-term goals. Maybe 70% goes to emergency fund, 30% to investments. You're making progress on multiple fronts. Investment strategy that fits your life. Here's something crucial. Your investment strategy should not stay the same your entire life. When you're young, time is your greatest asset. You can afford to take more risk because you have decades to recover from market drops. But as you approach retirement, the focus shifts from growth to preservation. You're protecting what you've built. A simple rule, take your age, round up to the nearest 5, subtract 10. That's the percentage that should be in bonds. The rest goes in equities. So if you're 32, that's 35 minus 10 equals 25% in bonds, 75% in stocks. If you're 58, that's 60 minus 10 equals 50% bonds, 50% stocks. But don't stop there. Your risk tolerance matters just as much as your age. Some people in their 30s panic at market drops. Others in their 50s stay calm. Build a strategy you can stick with. The wealth killers, cars and housing. Let me tell you about the 2 biggest traps that destroy wealth: buying too much car and making the wrong housing decision. For cars, follow the 24-10 rule. 20% down payment, 4-year loan maximum, total car expenses under 10% of your monthly income. Or better yet, buy a reliable used car outright. Use what you would have spent on a down payment to buy something modest in cash. Save the monthly payments you would have made. In 4 years, you can buy a much nicer car outright with no debt. That's delayed gratification. That's wealth building. For housing, forget the old wisdom that buying is always better. It's not. Not anymore. Consider the sunk costs, property taxes, legal fees, valuation, maintenance. Add up the opportunity cost. What else could you do with that down payment? Could it grow faster in the market? Buying gives you stability. Renting gives you flexibility. Neither is wrong. It depends on your situation, your market, and your goals. Run the numbers for your specific situation. Don't just follow what your parents did. Conclusion. Listen. Everything we've covered today, this is the blueprint they never taught you in school. But now you have it. You know how to assess where you stand. You know how to set meaningful goals. You know how to build a 12-month roadmap. You know when to save, when to invest, and how to avoid the biggest wealth traps. This is your financial foundation. And the best part? You can come back to this video anytime you need a refresher. If you found this valuable, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for Money Story Vault. We're building a community of people who refuse to stay financially illiterate, who are taking control of their money and their futures. Drop a comment below and tell me, what's your biggest financial goal right now? I read every single comment and I want to hear from you. Remember, wealth isn't about how much you make. It's about how much you keep and how smart you are with what you have. See you in the next video.